Alright, let's take a look at that aluminum can polarization that you did a couple nights ago. So this is the paper, and on the bottom the conclusion says, describe what must happen inside of an aluminum can for the attraction to occur. And a lot of you didn't really address that part of it. So let's take a look at it. Here's what the simulation looks like. If I get rid of this glass rod, we can see that this is a neutral can. There are just as many positives as there are negatives. When I bring in a positive rod here, then we have some of those electrons, some of the what we call free electrons, that can move through the material. And they're going to move to get as close as possible to the positively charged rod. So what we are doing in effect here is called polarizing the can. We're making more negatives on one side and more positives on the other. Now, the positives can't move, but sometimes we talk about positives getting accumulated on the other side, because when the electrons, when these guys over here left the atoms on the left side, what they left behind were positively charged atoms, or what we call positive ions. So, just to make life simple, we talk about electrons or negative charges being attracted to the positive and positive charges being repelled by the positive over to this side, although they're not really moving. Alright, if we put in a rubber rod or replace it here, now we can see that that rod is going to be repelling the electrons over to the other side. So it's still a polarized can, but now it's polarized the other way. But notice that both a negative rubber rod and a positive glass rod both have the same effect of attracting a neutral but polarized can. How can that be? Well, notice that because when we change the charge on the rod from positive to negative, we are just simply reversing the polarization of the object. And once we get those negatives being accumulated close to the positives, then we get a very strong electrostatic attraction between them. And we're going to learn more about that electrostatic attraction in class. So talking about what's happening inside the can, you definitely want to talk about the movement of the negative charges toward the positive rod or away from the negative rod. You can talk about the positive charges not moving but becoming unpaired with their electron on the other side. When I say unpaired, I mean these electrons that are normally paired with their positives have left. Alright, so that's the main thing I wanted to review. Thanks for tuning in.